This is Part 2, Episode 171. Three figures crossed each other in the sky with lightning-like speed. Frightening Do-chi ripples formed a ring shape that spread in all directions. No experts dared to step within a 10,000-meter radius. This frightening ripple could grind an elite Do-zun into a pool of blood. Humph! The human figures crossed each other and stumbled back a couple of steps. Even space itself had shaken until it collapsed and formed a large dark region wherever their feet landed. Yao Chen, so what if your spiritual strength is powerful? Do you really think that you can fight against the two of us alone? Old demon Tian Ming stabilized his body and suppressed his somewhat churning blood. He looked at the gloomy-faced Yao Lao a short distance away and coldly laughed. Ji Yu by the side also coldly laughed. He could not help but clench his hand while feeling a little shaken in his heart. He understood that if he was alone, he would not be a match for Yao Lao. The other party's spiritual strength far surpassed his. It is rumored that the fighting ability of alchemists during the ancient times was extremely great. It is likely due to their strong spiritual strength. It is likely this Yao Chen is already in the heavenly state among the four great spiritual states, man, soul, heavenly, and D. One would not be able to find many who have reached this stage even if they searched over the central plains. Ji Yu's eyes flickered. The murderous intent in his heart also became denser. He needed to finish off this old fellow today no matter what. Otherwise, this person would likely bring disaster in the future. Old demon Tian Ming, don't give him any time to catch his breath. Kill him. He won't be able to hold out for long. Ji Yu's eyes were dark and cold as he cried out in a chilly voice. Old demon Tian Ming nodded upon hearing this. He strangely laughed. My heart is feeling very excited the moment I think of being able to kill a high-level Ban Xing. The seal formed by old demon Tian Ming's hands changed after his laughter sounded. A vast grey Do-chi surged out from his body in all directions. Finally, it agglomerated into a 1,000-foot-large illusory figure. This illusory figure did not have an actual face, but it emitted an extremely frightening aura. Profound sky palm. Old demon Tian Ming's hand suddenly slammed towards Yao Lao. The huge illusory figure behind him also moved at the same time. The enormous palm was accompanied by a frightening wind that chilled one's soul and carried waves of sonic booms that ruthlessly shot toward Yao Lao. Yao Lao did not dare to slight the illusory hand after sensing the frightening energy contained within it. Do-chi quickly surged out of his body. His Do-chi finally turned into a 1,000-foot-tall fire palm that collided with the illusory palm. Bang! Both palms collided and a rumbling thunder-like explosion immediately resonated across the sky. A terrifying Do-chi storm swept apart from the point of contact. It shattered a mountain by the side into dust that scattered apart. This Do-chi storm erupted and spread. Old demon Tian Ming in the sky was also struck by it. He rapidly staggered back, and his aura became slightly sluggish. His originally pale face had become even paler. Although old demon Tian Ming suffered a little, Yao Lao did not have an easy time. The blood and qi within his body churned from the impact, but he had just suppressed it with much difficulty when a black figure was suddenly magnified in his eyes. A sharp, dark, and cold palm wind once again surged over, forcing him to have no choice but to receive it again. Bang! Even with Yao Lao's great strength, experiencing another head-on clash with Ji Yu caused him to feel a sweetness in his throat, but he forcefully managed to swallow the blood. The three of them were at the same level, and it was obvious that Yao Lao was no match against these two together. Hiss! While Yao Lao suppressed some injuries that had appeared within his body, a snake's cry that contained an immense pain suddenly erupted from the distant sky. He hurriedly turned his head, only to see Kaylin's seven-colored heaven-swallowing python body was sent flying by a palm from the third Tianzuan. The frightening force of an elite Ban Xing had shattered the tough scales on the body of the seven-colored heaven-swallowing python. Blood scattered down from the sky like a storm. Kaylin. The little fairy doctor's expression altered slightly after seeing Kaylin be injured by the third Tianzuan. Her bright eyes furiously glared at the dark and dense face of the third Tianzuan. Her delicate body moved and rushed behind him. She moved her palm and a fist-sized grayish-brown bead appeared in her hand. Woeful poison calamity. A cold glint flashed across the little fairy doctor's bright eyes. A thumb-sized grayish-brown liquid suddenly seeped out of the poison pill in her hand. Waves of white fog erupted from that space the moment the liquid appeared, and it shot toward the third Tianzuan. Bang! With the little fairy doctor's speed, she was unable to escape the third Tianzuan's detection. A black figure flashed in front of her when the grayish-brown liquid shot out. He turned around and waved his sleeve. It swung into the little fairy doctor's delicate body. This weak sleeve appeared as hard as metal. It caused the little fairy doctor to spit out a mouthful of blood as her delicate body flew backwards. Although she was blasted backwards, the grayish-brown liquid still landed on the third Tianzuan's robes. His robes immediately turned into ashes, and some poison liquid landed on his arm like maggots in one's bones. That portion of his flesh was quickly corroded. The third Tianzuan's expression changed when he saw that the poisonous liquid was so lethal that even his Do Qi could not block it, but he was a ruthless individual. His hand was like a blade as it swiftly cut his arm. The large portion of his flesh with poison adhering to it was cut away, revealing some dense white bones. You can be considered to have some ability to be able to cause me to cut off my own flesh. However, you will have to compensate me with your life. The third Tianzuan endured the intense pain on his arm. He glanced at the little fairy doctor, who was flying backwards, with a ruthless expression. His body moved, and he was just about to give chase, when a green figure swiftly rushed over. A powerful Do Qi surged and blocked him. An insignificant and futile effort. The third Tianzuan coldly laughed after seeing Qing Lin blocking him. He was not afraid even when the three of them attacked together. Even less needed to be said with Qing Lin alone. Although the triple jade green snake flower pupils were powerful, these things were simply unorthodox methods in the face of absolute strength. Bang 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 bang. Qing Lin could only bitterly endure the third Tianzuan's incomparably ferocious attack, but it was clear that she had fallen to a disadvantage. If not for the help from the triple jade green snake flower pupils, she would have already been seriously injured by the third Tianzuan. Even though she hadn't been seriously injured yet, she would likely be defeated soon. The entire star realm had all fallen into chaotic and intense battles. However, the main stages was still Yao Lao's battle and the third Tianzuan's fight. Everyone understood that if these elite Ban Xing were to be freed from their fights, it would be a fatal blow for the other party's expert. Moreover, from the looks of the present situation, Yao Lao, Kaylin, and the others had clearly fallen into a disadvantage. Ha ha, Yao Chen, are you still going to continue to bitterly struggle? Ji Yu and old demon Tian Ming continued to press Yao Lao in the sky. After being entangled in a battle with these two, Yao Lao had gradually entered a tired state. His attacks and defenses were inferior to what they had been before. Yao Lao was at a disadvantage in a prolonged battle with these two. Faced with the strange laughter of old demon Tian Ming, Yao Lao's expression became dark and solemn. However, he did not dare to split his attention to retort. Bang! Just when Yao Lao had focused his attention to deal with the battle, muffled sound suddenly exploded in the distant sky. From the corner of his eyes, Yao Lao saw that Qing Lin was finally no match for the third Tianzuan. Her enemy had targeted her opening. A fist flew and even the heaven serpent illusory figure behind her was forcefully scattered. Getting distracted in battle is not good. This scene caused Yao Lao's heart to feel chilled. His actions slowed for an instant. Immediately, a ghost-like figure appeared behind him and a palm was violently thrown. It firmly landed on Yao Lao's back. This sudden sneak attack caused half of Yao Lao's body to become numb. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out. His body descended and finally smashed into the square. Many large crack lines spread and finally covered half of the mountain. The hearts of many Falling Star Pavilion experts sank upon seeing Yao Lao fall. Yao Lao was the strongest person in the Falling Star Pavilion. If he was defeated, the morale of the Falling Star Pavilion would definitely take a beating. Members of the Falling Star Pavilion, Yao Chen has already been defeated. If you still insist on this stubborn resistance, this elderless elf does not mind killing you all. After defeating Yao Lao, old demon Tian Ming stepped through empty air and swept his sinister gaze over the star realm. A cold cry that was filled with a murderous aura resounded beside everyone's ear. Everyone in the Falling Star Pavilion was stunned after hearing this cold cry from old demon Tian Ming. Most of the experts in the Falling Star Pavilion revealed gloomy and hopeless faces. Those experts, who had come to watch the battle, felt some sadness in their hearts. It seemed that this Falling Star Pavilion, which had been grand for a short while, was about to be destroyed by the hands of the Profound River Alliance and the Hall of Souls. Old demon Tian Ming smiled in a pleased manner, after sensing that the star realm had become much quieter. After which, he waved his hand. He looked at the pale-faced Yao Lao struggling to stand and coldly said, "Yao Chen, remember, your fate today is entirely your own fault. You chose to swallow a bitter pill instead of taking the easy road." Yao Lao wiped the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth. His eyes were ferocious as they stared at old demon Tian Ming. A madness gradually appeared within his eyes. Kill him. Otherwise, the situation might change if we tarry. Old demon Tian Ming knit his brows as he observed the expression in Yao Lao's eyes. He looked at Ji Yu before suggesting in a deep voice. "All right." Ji Yu also nodded. Bang. While old demon Tian Ming and Ji Yu were preparing to launch a killing attack to completely finish Yao Lao off, the entire star realm suddenly began to tremble. Then, all the mountains began to wildly shake, appearing as though an earthquake had struck. What is happening? This sudden unexpected change caused old demon Tian Ming and Ji Yu's expression to change as they asked a question. Bang! A green mountain deep within the star realm suddenly exploded after their questions sounded. The enormous mountain turned into rock fragments in front of many stunned eyes. At the same time, a monstrous flame, which appeared like a flame that could destroy the world, swept out of the deep mountains. Finally, it turned into a rolling fire wave that swiftly surged toward this part of the sky. The sea of flames surged over and a familiar, cold cry suddenly reverberated over the star realm. Today, anyone in the star realm who does not belong to my pavilion will die. A dense pressurizing aura spread with lightning-like speed as this dangerous cry roared across the land. Upon sensing this monstrous aura that contained a great pressure, old demon Tian Ming and Ji Yu, who were suspended in the sky, instantly stilled. A rich shock surged onto their faces. Their sharp cries of disbelief appeared in the sky. "Do Xing! How is that possible?" The sea of fire surged over the star realm in all directions in front of a countless number of shocked eyes. Finally, the fire gathered in the sky above the battlegrounds. Flames churned and slowly separated into a fire path. A black-robed figure stepped through the fire wave using the fire path. That figure slowly appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Xiao Yan, Junior Pavilion Chief. Junior Pavilion Chief has exited his retreat. Many exclamations that contained various emotions sounded within the star realm as everyone looked at this familiar figure. Those from the Falling Star Pavilion were filled with a wild joy, while those from the Profound River Alliance were shocked. How is this possible? This brat was only at the peak of the Do-Zun class 2 years ago. How is it possible for him to break through to a Do-Shing? Moreover, he is a genuine Do-Shing. Yu looked at the young figure walking through the wave of fire in disbelief. He roared across the sky in a somewhat crazy voice. This scene had an overly terrifying impact on him. He is that Xiao Yan. Didn't those damn bastards say that he is not a threat? What happened? The face of old demon Tianming by the side involuntarily twitched as he yelled. It's the Bodhisattva heart. This brat obtained the Bodhisattva heart. Yu's eyes wildly flickered. He seemed to have recalled something a moment later. His teeth were clenched as he said, no wonder this brat seemed to have completely vanished during these 2 years. He was in a retreat to break through to the Do-Shing class. All fights within the star realm halted at this moment. Many excited and terrified eyes locked onto the human figure walking out of the sea of flames. The terrifying pressure that was emitted caused even an elite Do-Zun's soul to tremble. This pressure was many times stronger than the pressure generated by a high-level Ban-Shing like Yu. The sea of flames spread. Xiao Yang's body stood in the air in front of countless pairs of shocked eyes. He studied the star realm, which was covered with signs of battles. Murderous intent wildly surged within his black eyes. Xiao Yang's body flashed. The next time he appeared, he was barely above the enormous square. He landed in a deep pit and appeared beside Yao Lao, who was covered in blood. Both of his eyes strangely became extremely calm, as he looked at Yao Lao's miserable appearance. Only those familiar with Xiao Yang were aware that this was his most frightening state of mind. Little fellow, you have finally left your retreat. If you had been a little later, you would have had to bury these old bones of mine. Yao Lao's eyes erupted with great joy after seeing Xiao Yang appear beside him. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood and loudly laughed. Teacher, sorry, leave everything to me. Xiao Yang was quiet. He softly uttered these words before lifting up the seriously injured Yao Lao. After which, Xiao Yang rushed out of the large pit and placed him on a stone platform. He swept his eyes over and a couple of Falling Star Pavilion elders hurried over to take care of Yao Lao. Kaylin and the others are also injured. Yao Lao rubbed the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth as he informed Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang nodded. His hand grabbed toward empty space, and 3 figures flew over under his control. They landed on the stone platform beside Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang looked at the blood that hung on the corner of Kaylin's, the little fairy doctor's, and Qing Lin's mouths. After which he focused on Kaylin. Her cold, bewitching face was pale. Dense blood dyed her clothes until it became sticky. Xiao Yang pulled out a large black robe from his storage ring and used it to cover Kaylin's body. He did not utter a single word, as he took out a bottle of medicinal pills and handed it to the little fairy doctor, who was still conscious. She received the bottle and softly said, "This was done by the 3rd Tianzuan. That person is an initial level Ban-Shing." I? Xiao Yang glanced at the little fairy doctor and smiled. However, this smile was ferocious and sinister. Be careful. Kaylin spoke with an extremely weak voice when Xiao Yang turned around. She was unable to see through Xiao Yang's strength, but she knew the other party had 3 Ban-Shings. At this moment, Yao Lao had been seriously injured and was unable to join the battle. Xiao Yang's strength might have soared, but it would be quite difficult for him to come out victorious. Rest well. There is no need to worry about anything else. Xiao Yang smiled and comforted her. After which, his eyes shifted to the surrounding Falling Star Pavilion elders. There were quite a number of unfamiliar faces among them. These people had likely joined the Falling Star Pavilion while he was still in his retreat. Faced with Xiao Yang's gaze, these extremely arrogant elders hurriedly lowered their eyes out of respect. The frightening aura that vaguely seeped out of Xiao Yang's body had caused even their legs to become feeble. Take care of them. There is no need for all of you to fight. Understood, Junior Pavilion Chief. The many Falling Star Pavilion experts respectfully replied after hearing this command. After issuing some instructions, Xiao Yang finally lifted his head. His eyes looked to the sky. Ji Yu, old demon Tianming, and the third Tianzuan from the Hall of Souls had gathered together at that spot. Their eyes were cautiously studying him. The faces of the three of them were a little stiff, as they watched Xiao Yang look over with a calm expression in his eyes. They had not expected the situation to change like this. With their senses, they were naturally able to sense Xiao Yang's current strength. 1-star Do Xing. He was not a Ban Xing. He was a genuine Do Xing. There was only a one-word difference between a Ban Xing and a Do Xing, but there was a relatively frightening gap between the two. Although an elite Ban Xing could also be called a Do Xing since they possessed a strength that far surpassed that of an elite peak Do Zun, they could only be strictly described as a fake Xing. Only when one truly reached the 1-star level could one be called a genuine Do Xing. The Ban Xing class was separated into the initial, intermediate, and high levels. These levels appeared small, but it was difficult if one wished to leap across them. For example, it had been decades since Ji Yu had advanced to the Ban Xing class, yet he had only become a high-level Ban Xing. Old demon Tianming had remained at the high-level Ban Xing for an even longer period of time, but he still failed to reach a 1-star Do Xing. Thus, it was possible to tell just how great of a gap there was between a 1-star Do Xing and a high-level Ban Xing. Even though the three of them looked calm, they involuntarily felt a great storm appear within their hearts after processing that Xiao Yang had left the Do Zun class, leaped over the Ban Xing levels, and reached a 1-star Do Xing within a short 2 years. The scenery of the Star Realm is nice. This is not a bad place to be buried. Xiao Yang looked at those three. His body moved as he appeared a short distance away from them as he spoke in a faint voice. Xiao Yang, you should not act arrogantly. So what if you are a 1-star Do Xing? Do you not believe that I will call people from within the clan to come out and finish you off? Ji Yu's expression was dark and cold as he cried out. Despite his strong front, Ji Yu's heart had also begun to tremble. An elite Do Xing was considered the top within the Hun clan. One was usually unable to even see those old fellows. Other than the clan head's personal summons, they would ignore anyone else. They were not people that Ji Yu could simply summon as he pleased. Xiao Yang thought about his words before nodding. He waved his sleeve and a frightening ripple spread out. In the blink of an eye, the space within the star realm became distorted and it appeared as though no spatial ripple could be emitted. These people would fail to escape even if they were to use a spatial scroll. Ji Yu's expression turned even blacker, after seeing that his words had ended up causing Xiao Yang to lock space itself. He involuntarily felt the impulse to slap himself. What are you looking at? Do you think that he will easily let us off today? Although he is a 1-star Do Xing, his foundation has yet to stabilize. He will not be able to do anything to us if we cooperate. Ji Yu forcefully suppressed the impulse within his heart. He saw the furious eyes of old demon Tianming by the side and involuntarily cursed. Old demon Tianming was filled with a fury after being chided by Ji Yu. If Ji Yu had not reassured him that nothing would go wrong, he would not have decided to attack the Falling Star Pavilion. In the end, the nothing would go wrong had evolved into this situation. If he wasn't a Samba person, he would have involuntarily started furiously cursing. Although old demon Tianming was filled with fury, he also understood his current situation. The three of them might still have a chance to survive if they worked together. They would truly end up dying if they separated. Let's fight him together. Old demon Tianming spoke in a gloomy manner. He did not say anything more as his feet stepped through empty air and a monstrous Do Chi surged. A 10,000-foot large illusory figure formed behind him. At the same time, Jiyu and the third Tianzuan began to circulate their Do Chi. In an instant, a wild wind rose in the sky as dark clouds churned. It appeared as though a big storm was imminent. Xiao Yan watched these three individuals join hands. His black eyes appeared completely calm, not a ripple within them, but there was a chill that could freeze one's soul slowly surging deep within his eyes. Profound sky blood palm. 10,000 soul heaven lock. The Guyu's aura wildly surged along with the other two. In the end, they furiously roared with bright red faces. Three winds that contains extremely fright-sharp energy wind instantly shattered this empty space. They began like three furious dragons that roared wildly at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's black eyes watched the frightening attacks that those three had used all their strength to unleash. He slowly lifted his hand. There was a strange expression within his eyes. This is something that I came to comprehend while breaking through to the Doshin class. Today, I will offer the three of you as sacrifices to it. 4 types of flames suddenly erupted from Xiao Yang's hand after his indifferent voice sounded. They began to rotate in a crazy manner. Within the blink of an eye, they had turned into a 4-colored 1,000 feet large strange ring. The ring continued to rotate. The interior of the ring was black. This kind of black was even purer than the spatial black holes. It was a kind of reincarnation feeling. The ring was formed in Xiao Yang's palm. Subsequently, it was pushed downwards and gently collided with the full force attacks by Guyu's group. This attack is called Angry Buddha Reincarnation. This video will end here.